with the flow.
Can't forget about Coach Bergen. Of course. And if you don't got Coach Bergen, you ain't got shit.
What's up, Coach Bergen here, and welcome to the Coach Bergen Show, episode 58. Here we go. Our guest today, Eddie Blackburn, right?
Yeah,
Blackburn.
man. Yep.
Awesome. So, tell me, you have you have a management company. Are you a fighter as well, or do you coach,
I,
or what aspects do you get
I've
into?
done it all. I was a professional MMA fighter. I coached. I had my own gym, my own fight team. I had my own promotion. I was a promoter matchmaker. Now I'm managing professional fighters.
Okay, awesome. So, what got you started with the sport of MMA?
Well, back in 2004, I was playing a lot of softball, and I met this girl on the softball team, and she was like, "Hey, we're having a little party at my house this weekend to watch my husband fight on television." And I was like, well, I never heard of such a thing going on, fighting on television shit, you know? So it was, it happened to be Jeff Monson, and it was over in UFC 227 in Japan, and he was fighting Chuck Liddell. So I ended up about a week later, I think he came back from Japan, and I met up with him and met him for the first time, and went to Victory Athletics with him with Dennis Hallman, also a UFC fighter, back has 2 wins over Matt Hughes. And I started training. I wrestled in high school and stuff, and started training with these guys, and started doing a couple amateur fights, and then the amateur thing went to professional, and then here we are today.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So, is there any specific aspect of it that you like better than the others, or was it more like just at that time management felt best, or fighting felt like the best choice, or being a promoter felt like the best choice, or was there any favorite out of any of
I,
those?
I, li- I like the fighting part. Obviously, I'm 52 years old now, so I'm not doing too much of fighting. But the fighting was, it was always a competition, and I love competition. So then I went on to the promoting matchmaking, and I was doing my own thing. I did 6 amateur shows, and it was one of the best amateur shows in the Pacific Northwest. We had a lot of talent, sold out every show. Sponsors pretty much paid for the show. I mean, it was well off. So I was I wanted to give back to the pro fighters that these amateurs that are going pro. So I started working with the World Fighting Championships, the WFC, and he does shows all over the United States. But I was particularly doing the matchmaking for him up in Washington State. I pretty much know everybody up there. So we did a couple shows at a few casinos, sold out every show. I tried to be a partner. I wanted, like, I'm doing everything here, guys. So compensate me a little bit better, you know.
Right.
So I asked to be a partner a few times, and he didn't want to do the partner thing. Greedy about the money, wanted to keep his own money. Totally get it. But the only reason why these shows were successful is because of myself. I'm not like blowing my own horn or anything, but I kind of am, So I took a break from it. I did my last show October 25th at the Emerald Queen Casino, beautiful facility up in Washington State, and then I took my break, and I see these fighters are this guy's reaching out to these several fighters and saying, hey, Eddie's not around anymore, but hey, so they didn't really want to fight this guy. He's got a bad name. So I was like, well, stopping these fighters from fighting, I'm going to manage them. So
Mm.
instead of, fighting for them, they'll fight all over. So, I mean, I've been doing the management thing for like 3 months, and I had a couple fighters, and then it's blown up. It's like 15 fighters now, and we're fighting on big promotions all over the United States. So kind of got crazy.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm
Yeah.
glad it's growing fast for you.
Yeah, it's nothing that I expected, but it blew up, and I'm gonna roll with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. You got to keep that momentum going while it's there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Um, so as a promoter, do you have any events that were like your favorite to run?
Um, well, I did my own promotion. It was called Cage Quest.
Cage
Um,
Quest. Okay.
yeah, that was fun. It was uh something that I put all my anything I do, I feel like I give 100%. So it's like the whole competition thing. You know what I mean? So I want to be better than the next guy doing a show and a promotion. So And I enjoyed working with the WFC. You know, it was I was the matchmaker, but I felt like that I had the control of pretty much everything up there. So I like doing that. So and like I said, the only reason why I'm doing the management thing, and I didn't think that I'd really like doing it, but I kind of do now. And I've been taught, like I said, I've been talking to a lot of promotions out there, and it's pretty badass.
Awesome. Awesome. And, it still keeps you involved in the sport and,
Yeah, of
probably a lot
course.
of the ways that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So cool. What would you say has been your favorite thing about being a manager so far?
Um, like I said, reaching out to these other promotions and actually having promotions reach out to me is pretty cool. Um, I got a guy. He when I first started managing, he was 0-2. He had won 5 in a row. I got him on A1 Combat in California, Raya Faber's show.
Hmm.
Uh, he fought a Division 1 All American wrestler, Jackson Hembauer, undefeated guy at the time, and we got our ass kicked for 3 rounds. And at the very end of the third round, he threw up an inverted triangle and won the fight. So
Oh,
that
wow.
was very cool, man. The place went nuts. It was just a turnaround. We got invited back to A1, and we just going into the fight with on a 5-fight win streak and fought Yusim and Benvaya, I want to say his name is.
Hmm.
He's the middleweight champion of the world in the UFC, whatever the heck his name is, main training partner.
Okay.
So the kid's a phenom. I think he was like 5-0, 6-0 as an amateur, all first round finishes. 4-0 as a pro now, all first round finishes. He's on the cusp of getting into the UFC for sure. So we've the guys that I've kind of like built a team of the management team where these guys don't really say no to fights. They'll fight anybody. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a good thing as a manager, and it makes my job easier. Where if I throw you a fight, you're saying yes to it. So I kind
Hmm.
of like that aspect.
Of course, of course. And then your job is to kind of make sure that they're not getting put into bad matchups either, I guess.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But a lot of these guys, these most of these my top professionals, they want to get to the next level. And to get to the next level, you got to fight the best. You
Right.
can't be
Exactly. You can't
can't
pick and
dodge
choose.
guys. You know
Right.
what I mean? We're not dodging guys. So
Right, of course. Of course. You can't just pad your record and, you know, 10 and
yeah,
0, 20 and 0, whatever it may be.
right.
Um,
And hadn't
but
fought anybody. You know what I mean?
right. If you're fighting all bums. But even still, it is a lot of fights. So it's not nothing, but it's not as good as it could be.
Right.
And yeah. So do you have any fighters that have an event coming up that have fights
Yeah, I
coming up?
do. I think I have about 8 guys fighting in the month of May.
Month of May. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. Are they all fighting on the same card or
No,
different card?
no, no. I
Okay.
have Jonathan Haynes, the kid I just talked about that just won at A1 and then just fought back here in March at A1 as well. He's headed out to New Jersey to fight for Victory Fight League. He's actually fighting an undefeated fighter, 5-0. His name is Devin Worth, monster. He's on the cusp right now. I guess the UFC is looking at him. He's supposed to be on the Contender Series, I think, in June. So a win would definitely stir some stuff up. And then Jonathan also will be back June 24th at A1 in Sacramento, California. And then I got good luck with this. Espen Mackelman. Anyways, we call him the Russian Sam.
All right. If you
uh,
send it to me, I'll put it on screen so that way
all
people
right,
can see, if
cool,
they're watching it.
cool.
But like
Here, let's do that. Oh, I can't. Can I switch
listening,
my?
they'll have no idea. And
Exactly.
that's what it is. Maybe he just needs to change his name to something like
We're gonna call him
shorter.
Russian. We're gonna call him Russian Sam.
All right.
But
Russian
anyway,
Sam.
he's fighting. He's fighting on Tachi Palace and Lemoore, California, May 16th.
Okay.
And then I have a Talon Hammonds, 145 pounder. He's the main event at A1 Combat in Long Beach, California, fighting Shane Collins, which is another undefeated fighter. Also the UFC is looking at him, so we could stir some stuff up there as well. That's May 2nd, and that's big time. That's on UFC Fight Pass.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. So that's a lot of different fights coming up, and it sounds like most of them, if not all of them, are in California. Is that where you're based out of?
No, I live in California, but I have a lot of fighters based out of Washington State. May 23rd, about four of my guys will be on Koga up in Washington State. Really good promotion ran by Joe DeRabio. I got four guys on that card. So, yeah, I'm trying to spread all over. We're, I had a fight lined up for one of my lightweights. His name is Johnson Black Lightning Nasada. He was supposed to go out to New Jersey as well, and that fell through. So it's just I'm trying to get guys all over the place.
Right, right. It's honestly one of those things where you got to just try a whole bunch of times, and some of them are gonna work, some of them aren't. But
Exactly.
like, you get enough tries, eventually something's gonna
Man,
pan out for you.
I get crazy phone calls all day. My phone's blowing up all day. And hey, will your guy fight this guy? Of course, we'll fight it. We'll take the fight. And then a couple days later, hey, they didn't want the fight, and the money wasn't right. Something. There's always something.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with, like, I think we talked earlier about how you're doing something, maybe like an online app or something.
Yeah, so with Fight Plan Pro, which is available now, by the way, we're actually going to be implementing a booking portal into it with different promotions, and it's still like in the works. It's like just getting started, but it's going to be ready completely by July 4th is my goal. That's my timeline I set for myself.
So I won't have a
Um,
job after July 4th.
so what?
So I won't have a job after
No,
July
no, no.
4th.
You're gonna work with me. You're gonna work with
All
me.
right,
You
bro.
know
I'm
how
just
you were
mess.
talking about growing the promotions
Oh, of
before and
course.
wanting a revenue share.
Yeah.
This is your way to get that revenue share
All
while
right, my
helping the
man.
promotion grow. Except this isn't a promotion. This is more just like promoting an app
There you
that
go.
all fighters can benefit from, and it gives them a competitive edge. But
Nice.
yeah, we got to definitely figure out the details on it more. There's a lot to it, but it's going to be something that allows the promoters to directly connect with the fighters, and then there doesn't necessarily need to be anyone in between. But at the same time, it's going to be good to have the managers and coaches and whatever to to be that middle person to be like, wait a minute, this probably isn't the best matchup for you,
Right.
or
I mean, I
maybe
get a
you need
lot.
this person instead, or a different weight, or whatever it may be.
Right. I get a lot with the coaches. It seems like the fighter doesn't have a problem with fighting, and then the coach will be like, I don't think it's a good fight or something. So I think there always has to be this one person, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
a lot of these fighters are, like I said, like how I was and how most people are, very competitive, and you don't really say no to much unless you're trying to pad your shit.
Right. Unless you want easy matchups.
Yeah.
But I guess if you were very new into the sport and you were an amateur, then it would like make more sense to say no to certain fights. But at the same time, I mean, I don't know. I don't think most people go in with that attitude either.
Right.
They usually are just kind of ready to fight whoever because in
Yeah.
their mind, it's just one fight on the way to their next fight, to the UFC, to whatever their end goal is for themselves. Um, so yeah, but all right. So Fight Plan Pro though, it's gonna be designed not just with the booking portal. Like there's a lot to it, and right now it's designed to help with creating fight plans and then helping with fight prep. And then there's all kinds of different tools in there that I could go on and on about. But the best thing I can suggest to people is try it out, play around with it, see what's useful to you, what's not. And then if you dislike something or you want something changed or added, like I'm, pretty available. Like hit me up and then I
Yeah.
will change it right away. And so I already had like in the past week one big change happen with the home screen to it. Um, because it was set up to make it easier for the things I was using it for. But I'm not a fighter. I'm not even really a coach anymore. I just host a podcast and I came up with the idea. But I so one of the fighters had suggested to me that he wanted it to look like this, and I was like, yeah, let me do this. Give me a couple hours, I'll have it done. And then now it's like a lot different and a lot better. And I want to use the term user friendly, but it's more fighter friendly as opposed to user friendly. And
Nice.
so it's like because it's now designed to make it easier for you to, track your stuff and whatever, you want to put in there, your training, you want to find the fight plan, it's right there. And everything is a lot more readily available. And there's now like, um, there's different things that are being, tracked for you to help keep you, on top of your, on top of your stuff. And, I have a push-up tracker in there. That's the thing I'm using every day is I'm doing 1,000 push-ups a day. And
Nice.
so what I did was I put into the training section in the tools section where there's it's a push up, basically kind of group thing. And so everybody can use it, and as you do the push ups, you just, you tap the button to mark it down, and then it keeps track of it, and it gives you, the pace that you need to be at in order to, finish by whatever time you set it to, which is like the main reason why I put that in,
Kind of
because
setting
I
goals.
want to get it done before I leave the house,
Right.
and so I would normally leave the house like 2, 3 hours from now. And so that's what the time is that I would set it for. But for everybody else, they're going to have their different time. But I know it makes it a lot easier for me to finish and like push harder if I know, okay, I have to do 3 push-ups a minute or 5 push-ups a minute, 7 push-ups a minute for the next 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever it may be for the next 45 minutes until I'm done, and so having that pacing definitely helps me to stay on track as well as want to push faster, because then I'll be like, oh, I want to get this lower. Oh, if by this time I can get it below 5 a minute, that's going to be great. And then, it just gives you more ways to push yourself. But
Nice.
there's all kinds of aspects to it, and there's a section in there that it's designed to kind of help you reshape your habits. And it's called champion versus excuse, so you can put in whatever, if you're procrastinating, if you're, if there's a bad habit you're doing, whatever it may be, you put it in. And then you put in whatever the excuse mindset that, the excuse side of you that told you to give in, what did that tell you? And then what did the champion mindset in you tell you to do? And then which one did you follow? And then what could you have done differently? And kind of like self-analyzing. It helps you self-analyze in a sense. And then you mark if you won, if you lost, if it was, if you consider it a draw, whatever. And then it keeps track of how you're doing with these different habits or different, you know whatever you're trying to do, rituals, routines,
Nice.
to keep yourself on track. And then there's something where you can track your mat time, and I haven't tested that one out yet personally, but it exists. And yeah, and then I created a community tab in there. So that's going to be like Facebook's group features, and so that way all the fighters can kind of talk with each other if they want, and then if they have an upcoming fight, they can post about it in one of the groups.
Nice.
Um, and then I got all these reward systems in place too, where I have this cryptocurrency I created that's tied into it. And so while using it, you're going to get rewarded with this cryptocurrency. And then eventually it's going to be redeemable. So that way you could get actual money off of using it. And
Nice.
so it's just creating the way to simplify it right now. So that way it's like seamless, but but then there's a lot to it, and I could go on and on, but honestly I feel like I talk about it a lot. So
It's your
you
product,
know
man, so you want to.
yeah, yeah, but it's my goal to make this work so that way I can stop working a full-time job and be able to just work for myself and be, self-employed, be able to just do this, do the podcast, you know, run the app. And then I have so many different ideas too that I want to implement that are like unrelated to fighting. I have cartoons I create. I have a video game I just created like 3 days ago. And,
Cool.
so my goal, I guess, is to set this up in a way where I can almost set it and forget it, and still like be there if something goes wrong and needs to get fixed or whatever, whatever. But I want it to be something that can just give me like a steady stream of income where I don't have to go and work at a normal job. And then I can just focus on doing more podcasts, improving the app, creating all these other, cartoons and products. I have a coffee, by the way, named after me, Coach's Cognitive Coffee.
There you go.
Get yours now, link in bio. Use the code CoachB to get free shipping. And yeah, so there's a lot going on, but
Yeah.
it's all coming together, and I definitely think that I could use help with the booking portal and figuring out how to make that all work. And I know with like managers, when they book fights for their fighters, they're usually getting a percentage somewhere between 10 to 20%, depending on how they are. So what I was thinking, because this is almost going to simplify it like significantly to where you don't have to do as much work, we could cut that percentage down to like 5% and or like whatever 10%. I'm just throwing numbers out, but we could
You're
cut
taking
that
my job
percentage.
again, man.
What?
There you go, taking my job again.
I know. I just gave you a job and then I'm taking it away.
You
I
are,
know.
bro.
I know. My bad. But it's okay because we're going to have enough fighters on here and enough fights being booked that it's going to pay off. And then, my thought was too that with a percentage of that percentage, it could be given to to fighters as a fight bonus or something like that. And like knockout of the night, or I don't even know how that would work because there's going to be fight cards from all over. So that would it would be difficult to figure that out. But, it's just an idea that's kind of running through my mind that I'm thinking out loud right now
Right.
is being able to utilize that as another bonus to give towards the fighters to help them out more and reward them for winning, reward them for using the app, for, putting in the work, et cetera,
Have
et cetera.
you ever talked to a promoter about like booking a fight for somebody before?
I started to with, you're talking about with the app specifically, right?
No,
Or
no,
just being
just
in
just
general?
just in general.
I booked my own fights back when I was an amateur.
Okay.
And so I've done that. And
All right.
that's,
So I'm talking
yeah,
about as like a professional where people are getting paid and there's money and there's licensing and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever done anything like that before?
no, that's why I need somebody smarter than myself.
It's hella difficult.
Yeah. So you just protected your own job.
Yeah. Yeah. Job security, my friend.
Job security. Awesome. Um, so yeah, I know there's probably like a lot more to it than what I'm imagining, and I know that a lot of the time there's going to be contracts and stuff like written up,
There's always
and
contracts.
so that's another thing that I want to implement into the app as like a resource is something that the fighters can upload the contract and it'll tell you if there's any red flags, things you got to watch out for, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, that is going to need, a human mind to figure it out and make sure it's right and accurate.
Mhm.
And, because I'm not an expert in that, but
Oh, either am I, my friend. I just started
okay,
it, so it's all a learning experience. But what
all
I'm
right,
saying is, it's always there's always some kind of hiccup or something in getting a fight. I mean, nothing. It's
right,
hardly anything's ever perfect, obviously, but yeah, you got like I said, you got one fighter going to say yes, and the other fighter says yes, but I want more money. So there's always something there.
right. Of course,
And then when you start getting
definitely,
people out of town, they're paying for flights and they're sending you their airfare and you're sending it to the fighter. So I feel like there's always got to be a middleman for sure, like we talked about.
right, right. And I'm hoping to make Fight Plan Pro that middleman, so that way it can be like all in one resource for fighters and promoters and managers and I don't know. Well, we could probably just keep you as the only manager on there. Give you some job
All
security,
right.
all right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Sounds good, buddy.
Yeah, I don't want to take away your job again.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, cool. So, what what else do you got going on that you're working towards, or what do you?
Well, I just signed a kid named Jake Schwartz. He goes by the Bull. I just posted his video on Instagram of last year. He was doing they did a grappling tournament out on a I want to say like a floating dock in the water in the Puget Sound up in
Really?
Washington. Yeah, check it out, dude.
I will have to.
It's got over 900 and something thousand views.
Holy shit.
Anyway, yeah, he's an all Division One All American. He wrestled at Boise State. He's won Fargo. Just an absolute monster. He owns his own. They call it Fitness Quest. They're like workout gyms, but they also provide MMA and jiu-jitsu and boxing and everything up there. It's a just average person workout place and your top athlete workout place. Great place.
I bet.
And I just signed him to management, so I'm trying to get him on RAF, Real American Freestyle right now wrestling.
Okay, I've
So
heard of them. Yeah.
yeah. So this post has got Chael Sonnen already commented on it. Um, I got some friends that know friends of the owners of the RFA, so we're trying to get him in RFA. So that's a pretty big deal.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that is like real professional wrestling
Well,
where
it's freestyle.
freestyle, but it's like but they're actually getting paid. That's what I mean by
Oh, of course, of
professional in that
course, of
sense.
course, of course,
Yeah.
they're getting paid. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the number one plateau right now for these college. Oh, actually, a lot of UFC guys are on it now as well. You know, I think tonight it's Araya Faber against who is he going against? He's going against somebody really good, and then that Marab Henry Cejudo. I think that's the main event.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Henry
Okay.
Cejudo's, Olympic gold medalist in freestyle. So yeah, it's going to be that's sick. So my goal is to get Jake on that. Again, Jake Schwartz's name, great kid. See what happens.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
definitely going to be a huge step. So, aside from that, MVP Promotions is something that has been, coming up in my feed a lot lately. Jake
yeah.
Paul's promotion. What are your thoughts on that fight card?
I kind of like it, man. It's competition against the UFC. You know what I mean? The UFC is doing supposed to be doing this big show at the White House, and
Hmm.
and everybody thought the card would be this amazing thing, but it's kind of mediocre.
Yeah, it
But
was hyped up a lot more than it
big
should have
time,
been,
big
the White
time.
House card. Like 9 title fights was what I first heard, and
Yeah.
now it's like maybe one, maybe
Yeah, I
two. I
think
don't
I
know.
think it's two, the interim
Two.
heavyweight and then the lightweight title. But back to that Jake Paul's thing, I
Yes.
think it's kind of cool, man. I think that these, I heard that Nate Diaz is making $5 million, and I can just imagine what Ronda Rousey and Gina
Oh
Carrera is
yeah,
making. So I think it's great for the sport, man. Just like when
absolutely.
when Pride was around with the UFC, it gave them the competition. So obviously, I was a fighter before, so it's like I want these guys to make as much money as they can.
Right. I had listened to I probably didn't listen to all of it, but it was the press conference of the event, and one of the things Ronda Rousey talked about was that every fighter on the card, even if they lose, is walking away with $40,000 for that fight. And
That's incredible, man.
she was like, if you fight 3 times a year, that's a pretty good living, and you can't
Yeah,
do that in the UFC and make that
right,
money at this level.
right.
So she was talking about how her and Gina, they were talking about how they're excited about raising the floor of what the sport can be, and bringing it up, and then how the next people are going to just raise the floor even more,
It's
and
the
then it's
fastest
going to
growing
keep
sport in the
getting better.
world. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just, and these guys are going in there and sacrificing, and they're getting little money. It's kind of crazy, bro.
It goes very quick. Like, if 10 and 10 might sound good to some people,
Right.
but like, you pay managers, you pay your gym, you pay
Oh,
for
of course,
living, you
for
pay,
sure.
for medicals, and it all just goes away very quick.
And
Taxes
that
too.
kind of goes in with the managing thing too. So I come with a guy and say, "Hey, this is the amount of money I got for you." He's like, "Come on, man, we need more than that." You know what I mean? And then it just becomes this tussle thing and this tussle thing. And
Right,
but
right, right.
but I, like you said, I definitely think that these guys deserve the money that they should be getting. I mean, you know, everybody thinks that these UFC guys are getting paid crazy, but they're really not. You got to be a
In the
big
top 10
star.
at least.
Yeah, you got to be
Yeah.
a big star.
Like the bottom five of the top 10 are not making anywhere close to, the bottom five of the top 30 in boxing.
Right. I mean, a lot
And
of these guys stuff have full time jobs and
right.
train. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I don't even remember what fighter, but I remember hearing about someone still having a full-time job while training for their title fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's ridiculous. But and then you hear of fighters having to borrow money for their fight camps when they're the champion, and it's like, how do you not
Insane.
make enough to make it
Yeah.
worthwhile and make it work?
And insane.
You know, um, and I don't know. It's a it's a thing that needs to get navigated and
But
figured out.
the UFC is worth $4 billion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Somebody's getting
yeah,
paid, right? Somebody's making
yeah.
money.
But to be fair, like in, on the bright side of the UFC, I guess the positive side of all of that, what they did manage to do is during the COVID shutdown, they did not lay off anybody. They paid all of them, and they still managed to keep events going and paying
Yeah.
fighters, which, like,
So my
you know,
job did the same thing, but
okay.
you know what I mean? Guys are still working, but somebody's the only reason why that's happening because somebody's still trying to get money, right? Somebody's still trying to get rich off this.
Mm.
And he had the power to do that, so that's badass. Great kudos to him, but I mean, don't make it just sound like he wasn't getting paid neither. Just like my boss was getting paid too, you know what I mean? Nor I was
Yeah,
working,
it's not
but
like he lost money. Yeah, that's true. He was
exactly.
definitely making money putting on the events.
Yeah,
Um,
probably even more because nobody
I
had
would imagine
nothing
because
to
there was
do.
nothing else happening. And he was
Exactly.
legit the first sport back on TV.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
Very smart businessman.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think the White House card is, I mean, the card itself might not be as awesome as it could be, but the
But
fact
just
that it's
imagine being
happening,
there. Just
the fact
imagine
that it's,
being there.
yeah, I know,
Fucking
right?
sick. That would be sick.
Yeah, the
And
fact
then
that
I
it's
guess,
happening is insane.
yeah, crazy. And then Dana White was saying something about right across the street, there's a big park, and they're going to do like this big festival, you know, like the Fan Fest thing all weekend, which is kind of badass.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So you got
That's
to like
awesome.
reserve a ticket for that. And I would imagine they do a background check on, you know, that kind of stuff to get through
Oh yeah,
clearance and whatever. But yeah, still pretty cool.
yeah,
And then I
absolutely.
also heard that they're going to show the fights at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Okay,
So you can
okay,
buy tickets for that too. That's pretty
okay.
badass.
All right,
Yeah.
and then I'm pretty sure it's also actually gonna be free on TV. I think like CBS
Well,
or Paramount.
Paramount, I think it is,
Well,
right?
Paramount is like the deal they have, but
Yeah.
from what I understand, Paramount is owned by CBS or
Okay.
owns CBS or one or the other. So they're gonna be like playing it live on like live TV, not just like streaming platform, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, for the people that don't do that, which I don't really know who doesn't, but
Right.
I'm just saying it's like
Cable's
that's
expensive,
something
man.
often
Cable's
unheard of.
expensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah, no, I think the MVP promotions card is going to be better, honestly, just because of the stars that it has on it. Like the
Right.
fact that it's got Nate Diaz versus Mike Perry, that's pretty
Who wins that
awesome.
fight? Who wins that fight?
I would put my money on Nate Diaz.
Just because it's
And
MMA?
yeah, well, I mean, because it's Nate Diaz, you
Okay.
know.
Okay.
But that with it being MMA helps a lot too. But Mike Perry was an MMA fighter, so like
Yeah, but he wasn't
it's
very
not,
good.
I guess. But he's definitely better with bare knuckle.
Oh
but at
yeah.
the same time, it's not like he's a nobody. It's not like he's
Oh no,
untrained,
that's where he made
you
his
know?
name though. That's where he made his name though in Ben
Yeah,
Riddle, right? King of
yeah.
Violence or whatever he calls himself.
Right, right, something like that. But when they were doing the press conference, they were announcing Nate as the real BMF champion, and I really liked that.
Yeah,
And
giving
I
him his
loved
respect.
that they were like utilizing that angle, and I almost I think it would have been a cool idea if they made their own BMF title and then had Mike Perry and Nate Diaz fight for that.
I think a promotion like that is brand new, so I don't think they're going to put belts up because maybe next month or 3 months from now they don't do another show. You never know.
Right, right. Like the way Dana White has explained like boxing promotions is, they do every event like it's a going out of business sale. And so that's kind of what it seems like in that sense, to where
Because
they might not have,
I know
you
like
know,
Oscar De La Hoya had done a MMA event with Tito Ortiz and Chuck was the main event on that card
okay,
and that promotion, and it only lasted one. You
okay.
know, yeah,
Yeah. And then like Elite XC didn't last very long either. They had a lot of
yeah,
money behind them. And then they
right.
had Kimbo Slice, but you
And then
know,
Strike Force bought them. I think
yeah,
Strike Force bought them out or something, and then the UFC bought out Strike Force.
I think I think Elite XC was Strike Force, or Strike Force turned into Elite XC.
Yeah, I think that's what they bought that promotion or something. Scott
Okay,
Coker. Scott Coker. That's what I
yeah,
think. Yeah.
and then
Scott Coker is
they
doing a
tried to
thing
fix
now.
the fight
He's
with
doing a thing now in San
Kimbo.
Jose, California called it's like San Jose Fight Night or something. And he's got Gilbert Melendez his matchmaker, which is kind of cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right. So that's good. And then I know Nate Diaz. He was talking on, I don't even remember what podcast, but he was talking about how he is going to get his fight promotion, Real Fight Inc., to start doing events with Netflix as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So hopefully that, comes out of this. And then, we now have more promotions we can watch and look at, and,
Yeah, of course.
and then have stars like compete against each other, fight against each other, like the champion of MVP promotions fighting the champion of Real Fight Inc., you
Yeah.
know? I think that would be more of a realistic possibility than the UFC trying to collaborate with one of them.
I don't think the
Um,
UFC ever collaborate with anybody.
no, they tried to, and then they got burned by Pride.
Right.
Um, and then they just like never again. Um,
They ended up buying out
they just
Pride.
bought them now. Yeah, they just
Yeah,
bought them now. They're
exactly.
just like, yeah, fuck you, we'll just buy you. You
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
So you can't blame them either. They kind of need to protect their, they're the dominant promotion. They need to make
Yeah,
sure
of
they
course.
are, and they need to stay on top. So, you know, own the competition instead of competing against them.
Right.
Um, but yeah. All right. So, is there anything else you want to share before we go for the day? I'm out of things to say, to be honest with you.
No, you're all good, brother. You're all good. And no, just everybody follow me on IG, Eddie Blackburn, and check out One Speed Management and give us a follow and support. And thanks for having me on the show, bro. And we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of
And I'll
course.
make sure I put the links in the bio. And then you were talking about earlier that clip of the dude fighting on the water, and that you posted on Instagram.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna try to add that in to this clip where we were talking about it.
Yeah, that's
And
badass.
I'm gonna save it from, you posted it to Instagram, so I can save it
Yeah,
from
it's on my main page.
perfect. So I'm gonna save it from there and upload it into this, and then people will be able to see it.
Sounds
So
good, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you,
I
buddy.
appreciate you. Thank
No
you.
vibes,
Talk soon.
All right, later.
no
Bye.
hope. We came with a plan. Yeah, no guessing, no fear when the cage door slams. Every move mapped out, that's a fight plan. Round by round, we don't wing it, man. Train smart, fight clean, that's a fight plan. Camp clock ticking, sweat on the floor. Data on the tablet, not a prayer anymore. We know where you win, we know where you fall. So we don't chase knockouts, we collect rounds all. Distance control, don't bite on the bait. If he blitzes early, let him gas, let him break. No ego in the pocket, no pride in the fire. We survive, then we rise, then we drown as desire. When the lights get loud and the mind gets tight, this ain't improv, this is chess in a fight. No guessing. If this happens, do this. If that fails, reset. Win the round, then the fight. No vibes, no hope, just facts in hands. Pressure with purpose, that's a fight plan. Walk out calm, walk out the man. Smart beats tough, that's a fight plan. Digital corner, real results. Fight plan.
Skins under fire, life throwing the heat. Fight wax steps in naturally. Fetal essence power defends and heals deep. 100% clean, no chemicals creep. Fight wax, protect. Fight wax, restore. Built for the battle you face. Fight wax. Elevate skin, win the war. Fight wax, your natural shield on the day. Feel the roar. Fight wax, protect. Fight wax, restore. Built for the battle you face. Fight wax. Fight wax, protect. Fight wax, restore. Built for the battle you face. Fight wax. Fight wax, protect. Fight wax, restore. Built for the battle you face. Fight wax. Fight wax, protect. Fight wax, restore. Built for the battle you face. Fight wax.
Oh. 5 a.m. glow, city still sleeping. Mind already running, I'm 10 moves deep in. Game plan mapped out, vision HD. No brain fog here, that's not me. Steam rising slow from the cup in my hand. Ideas light up like I drew up the plan. Every rep counts, every thought sharp. Fuel for the grind and the creative spark. This ain't just caffeine in a cup, there's that clarity when it's crunch time. What's up? When the pressure hits, I don't panic, I see the whole board clear in front of me. Go, go, go! Coach's cognitive coffee, money roll coffee, that's the key. Stay locked in, stay focused, stay ready, mind steady, vision heavy. Coach's cognitive coffee, money roll coffee, fueling me when the stakes get high and the lights get bright. I'm sharp all day, I'm locked all night. Podcast mic on, headphones tight. Big ideas coming left and right. No hesitation, no delay. Clear decisions every day. From the chessboard moves to the business plays. From the gym floor grind to the long work days. It's mental edge in every sip. Confidence steady, no slip. You can feel a shift when it kicks in clean. Tunnel vision, but the picture's seen. Not hype, just clarity. Built for longevity. Coach's cognitive coffee, my Nero sing. What if this idea flops? What if this one bangs? What if everybody laughing while I'm chasing my dreams? Then I looked at my coffee, steam dancing in the light, bird chirping outside like they booked a gig tonight. Sun hit the window like a spotlight beam, and it hit me like, yo, you missing the scene. Mind always sprinting like it's late for a train, but the moment right here ain't playing that game. Future ain't real yet, past already gone, so the only place to live is the track we on. I'm living here and now, not tomorrow, not somehow, not the past, not breakdowns. I'm living here and now, yeah, the present's what I found. Life's a gift, unwrap it now. If you stuck up in your head, you'll miss out. I'm living here and now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my brain like a group chat that never goes mute. 20 voices yelling, dude, you gotta compute. Did you screw that up? Did you miss that clue? Did she like that text? Did you tie that shoe? But meanwhile, the wind blowing cool through the trees, and the moment like, bro, just breathe with me, please. No rewind button, no fast forward skip, just this little slice of time you currently in. It's funny how the mind wanna live in a draft, while the moment's sitting here like, bro, do the math. Every laugh, every sip, every step that you take, that's the real highlight reel you're supposed to make. I'm living here and now, not tomorrow, not somehow, not the past, not breakdowns. I'm living here and now, yeah, the present's what I found. Life's a gift, unwrap it now. If you stuck up in your head, you'll miss out. I'm living here and now. Hold up, why am I stressing about Tuesday when it's literally Saturday? Like, bro, there's a bird doing Parker on the fence right now, and I'm missing it thinking about taxes? Nah. So I'm feeling the ground when my feet hit the floor, taking one real breath like I never did before. Sun on my skin, little smile on my face, like the universe saying welcome to the place. No pressure to win, every second I'm in, just show up to the moment and your life begin. Cause the magic ain't later and it ain't in the past, it's the moment you finally stop moving so fast. I'm living here and now, not tomorrow, not somehow, not the past, not breakdowns. I'm living here and now, yeah, the present's what I found. Life's a gift, unwrap it now. If you're stuck up in your head, you'll miss out. I'm living here and now, yeah. Coach in the moment now, breathing, sipping, living, right here, right now, right now. I'm living here and now.
A coma is just a comma in your life. Trust and believe everything will be alright, be alright. You ain't done yet, you just pause mid-fall in your life. Trust and believe everything will be alright, be alright. You ain't done yet, you just pause mid-fall. Trust and believe everything will be alright. You ain't done yet, you just pause mid-fall. I was walking through the jungle with my people by my side. Didn't know that in a moment I'd be fighting for my life. Felt the world start spinning, colors all fade to white. Next thing I knew, I was falling out of sight. Heard voices in the darkness saying, coach, hold tight. But the fear in Queen Jeezy had me wanting to fight. Dreams turn to storms when you can't stand the bright, but every storm breaks when you step into the light. A coma is just a comma in your life. Trust and believe everything will be alright, be alright. You ain't done yet, you just paused it. Trust and believe everything will be alright. You ain't done yet, you just paused mid-fight. In the hospital bed, trying to piece back time. Maya told me, breathe, one step you'll climb. Truth lying, drop facts while the monitors chime. Said your brain hit a wall, but your hope still shines. Juji made jokes when the nights felt long. Panda read stories, keeping my heart strong. Hilarious hood pulled pranks, but he meant no wrong. And Stamps hustled salts when the pressure felt on. Every dream I battled was a lesson in disguise. Every fall just a setup for a stronger rise. When Queen JC cried, man, it opened my eyes. I ain't quitting on my people, ain't no goodbye. A coma is just a comma in your life. Trust and believe everything will be alright, be alright. You ain't done yet, you just pause mid-fight. Trust and believe everything will be alright. You ain't done
good. He's more than good. He's still winning. A setback ain't a sentence. It's just a pause in the paragraph. I woke up with a vision and a fire in my chest. Every scar I carry is a reason I'm blessed. Life hit hard, but I hit back twice. Yeah, I'm alright.
Thank you to my sponsor, Coma Dreams. A coma is just a comma in your life. Tonight proved that you pause, you breathe, and you finish the sentence. We did that, we finished
You
it.
looked unstoppable out there.
I didn't quit. Coma Dreams prove comebacks are real. Thank you, coach. I told y'all, no matter how deep it gets, wake up and fight.
Coma Dreams stayed with me. It reminded me not to take any day for granted. Just being healthy, training, and showing up is something to be thankful for.
I didn't expect this, but Coma Dreams actually hit me. Watching Coach go through that made me realize how fragile life is and why you don't waste your shot. This isn't a movie, it's life. It is what it is.
You know, I didn't expect to get hit this hard by a film, but Coma Dreams just wrecked me in the best way. The way it showed someone fighting their way back, step by step, it felt honest, like rolling here on the mats.
All right, I watched Coma Dreams, and I'm going to tell you, Coach's recovery, that was truly inspiring. That's a story worth watching.
I've chased titles my whole life. Coma Dreams reminded me the real prize is waking up and getting another chance. I'm grateful. Thank you, Coach.
I've been knocked down more times than I can count. Coma Dreams reminded me, you never quit, you keep standing back up. Shout out to Coma Dreams. A coma is just a comma in your life. We finished the sentence and we finished the fight. Thank you, Coach.
Congratulations on the win. What's the message tonight?
Train by day, Coma Dreams by night, all day.